Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies. That was pretty good, Humpy.
And we're off to a start.
Emma was behind us shouting and screaming, yelling,
what were you looking at? What were you looking at?
The screen wasn't up. It was like a little twirly thing over there. And I'm like, are we on or are we off?
When you perfect computers, when you see twirly things, you're waiting for something to appear.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And I don't want to give up my, that's a, one-shot deal. I do that once a week. All right, here we are.
Okay.
Episode number 123. So, Peter.
Yes, Bill.
We're in the office this morning. We're not doing the regular Thursday morning thing because you have some stuff going on, and next week we'll do the same because of Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
So Tuesday's the day that Dave is in the office.
Good morning.
So we recruited Dave to he's like, what do I got to do, Bill? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
just talk, say things, answer questions,
so
ask
welcome,
questions.
Dave.
Thank you.
Dave has been working as an acquisition manager. I don't know if it's really acquisition manager, probably more like kind of like a partner role than anything else, but he's
jack of all trades right now, trying to get the ball rolling and learn the business.
He's a licensed realtor, and he's been a coaching client of mine for a year and a half, maybe longer. Is very good at what we do, and it's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with him because he's like, it's like a battery. You know what I mean? There's a positive and a negative. And if you just got a negative terminal and no positive, then the energy doesn't move, right?
No, but we have three people now, so we have a ground, too. And not even the electrician in the room.
Not even the electrician.
Right?
That
was a good one, yeah.
So who's who?
Yeah, there you go.
I get the feeling I'm ground.
You're going to ground us?
Yes. Doing that for a couple of years if you hadn't noticed, Bill.
Grounding me, yeah. I do need a grounding once in a while.
And when I'm not around, Emma does.
Exactly. Well, Emma talks to me. I don't always listen to Emma, but lately I've been listening a little bit more because she's a little bit more pragmatic about things.
A few days later, it hits you.
Sometimes it takes a little while.
I tell people, never worry about when people don't listen to you. They heard you.
Yeah, just do it again.
Just let it'll sink in.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 123. Success is defined as doing more right things than wrong. So what are they?
Bill, you're reading your description. I'm not supposed to talk. Just keep reading.
Did you see his face?
I'm not going to guess. Just tell me, because whatever I guess is good, but never what you have in mind.
He had an answer, but you see it hit the back of his lips and it stopped. He was chewing on it for a second. All right, in this podcast, you can get a list of successful actions you must do in order to change your life so you feel like you're winning and happy with good results. Your true greatness lies in the power of your own thoughts. So, what should you be thinking? Doing these few things taught in this episode is not magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. How's that for word crafting? I'll read that again. Success is a natural consequence of constantly applying the basic fundamentals as if they were daily habits. Mm-hmm. In real estate investing, it is too easy to get lost in your own ideas, like not making the seller and buyer partners and using the bank and realtors as partners instead.
Oh.
Let's talk about how this could change for you today.
You never quite put it that way before. It was interesting. Calling them partners.
Right. Well, we have Dave here. He's a realtor, so we have a different perspective.
Yeah, but who's going to be your partner, the buyer and seller or the bank and the realtor? Right. Just as partners, because, you can look at this as adversarial, where I heard one of the calls one of your students got from a potential buyer and just like as if we were trying to fight people.
Right.
when you do anything in life, buy something, sell something, you should be working together. A job, you should be working with management. But why does it seem to be adversarial? We're actually working with each other to get something done. That's
which is our entire system is finding somebody to work with.
Yeah.
That has a plan that matches your plan to help them.
Yeah. I've had to tell people on the phone, well, if I can figure out what you're trying to do and what kind of help you need, and if I can do that, then we help each other. You have to tell them that because they wouldn't expect that. They think in the opposite. Exactly. Right, Dave?
Yeah. You bring them on board when you offer that help. Yeah.
But then they're not expecting that.
No, they don't.
So you have to tell them, and then, what do they believe you? Well, your actions will prove it.
Yeah, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but it's a great opportunity to show that, you do care. You want to make a difference.
Yep. So I want to fess up. Today is actually going to be Bill's therapy session.
Are you going to rant today, Bill?
No, I'm not going to rant.
Okay.
I'm not going to rant. But we will not be doing this podcast in 30 minutes. There's no way I could do this in 30 minutes. So this is, yet again, I do this 2 or 3 times a year. This is for Bill. And here's the reason why. Is because honestly, and I haven't told you this, I'm telling you this on air because I want to fix
That's when I find out everything, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not happy. I just don't like my life right now. I'm just not happy. It's like a weird thing. Because I'm always happy. You know me. I'm always like, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm kind of heading towards apathy. What's going on here? So I figured a few things out, and I'm going to announce them today because I feel like I'm going through it. So if I'm going through something like this, then other people would go through what I'm going through.
Oh, sure.
So why not just talk about it?
That's you, Bill.
We're going to do
the good, the bad, the truth, the ugly.
Yeah, so we're going to do it.
Okay, Dave?
So
lean back. Go ahead, Bill.
No, it's
We're out.
It's a couple things. No, I'm going to actually talk about a couple things that I really just don't want to talk about. I know the two of you have had these experiences as well, so we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Like honestly, I mean, this is honestly going to be like a therapy session. And people are going to get to listen because I know if you're in this business, this is not the first time I've went through this. It happens. You just kind of hit a point where, things aren't going right. Too many sellers are saying no. It seems like things are hard. It seems like you start questioning, why am I doing this? Should I start doing something else? Should I go get a job? There's no money right now. I'm broke. How come it's not turning around? It's going to happen. When it does, it seems like I'm never prepared for it, though. And it happens. And all of a sudden, you just find yourself there. It's not like you saw some sequence and it happened, like I did this wrong or I made that bad deal or I said this to somebody, or all of a sudden you just wake up and you're just there.
That's harsh.
Yeah. But it's true. So so that's why I want to talk about successful actions, because I have a couple things that we're going to talk about today that I personally am doing. And some of it, I'm a big Ben Seidel fan. He's a copywriter. And there's some of the stuff I got from him. He's kind of an antagonistic guy, very harsh, but he talks a lot of truth, which is probably why he gets along with me, right? It's probably why I like him. So we said that we're going to talk about successful actions. What are they? So I kind of made a list of a couple pages of what I think are successful fundamentals that we need to keep. In fact, I may turn them into some sort of like a code of an investor type of a thing. This is kind of like a ground. I just wrote it this morning, so I haven't really thought about what we're going to do with it. But it's kind of like that. It's like if you keep these basic things in, you can bootstrap yourself and keep going.
Well, the first thing you're going to do with it is make a copy for me. Because my plan has had for a week come up with my next plan. I just got to the end of a couple of houses. Everything's okay. That's done. Now what do I do? I've been so wrapped up. And I'll take a copy.
So we're going to have Dave make a grand debut with the first one. And here it is.
This makes me nervous.
No, it doesn't.
Make it
totally fine.
Make it a debut, not a debut.
Yeah.
You're totally fine with this because I know you can talk about this because you've been talking about it a lot recently.
Yeah.
So outflow gets inflow.
Yeah. That's I was wondering if you were going to say that.
Yeah.
As one of the success items. I personally in my business have my daughter helping me write letters and mailing them out, and we just got a deal on a house in North Haven. And that was just pure getting it out there. As a realtor, when I sit down and start making phone calls and start talking to people, I start getting opportunities to either list houses or sell houses.
Right.
And certainly the experience that I've had with you over the last month and a half, round numbers, was, we ramped up dramatically, and the calls that we were making and the ways that we were getting those leads started out slow.
Yep.
But as we began talking to people, it just became a wave, and we're almost inundated right now. We just can't,
Right.
I can't process it quickly enough. So yeah,
Just
outflow definitely begets inflow.
Yeah.
And you've said this before, and I've seen it happen. You focus on outflow in specific areas, but that's not necessarily where you're going to get the result from. You may get it from somewhere else. It's just putting the word out there.
So let's
and people
give a
won't
live
give us-
example of that. So we're putting out yellow letters, and I got some calls in, and all of a sudden, in comes from my attorney a lead for subject to house.
Absolutely.
Right now, well, it didn't come from the letters, but it did come in because outflow,
Absolutely.
because it's just a natural law. You know, if you fill up a glass with water, it's only going to take so much water.
Yep.
And then it's going to overspill. Right? So to me, that's what the picture's like in my head is overspill the glass of water.
Mm.
You know, so the glass. So if you been filling the glass of water and it's not enough, then do more than the glass of water.
Mm.
Let it spill over. Let it make a mess. Let it like get out there and get all over the counter, and you know what I mean. Like let it just make a mess, because people start to notice it. Hey, your glass of water's overfilling. Oh yeah, what do you think about that? Next thing you know, you're having a conversation.
Absolutely.
Now, you shouldn't have to explain that to people, but if you want to just really get extreme about this, let's go complete opposite. Don't tell anybody you buy houses.
Yeah.
Don't have a sign, don't have a card. Go in your room, close
Sit
the
in your
door.
office.
Close the door, close your eyes, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
So maybe the opposite would work.
Yeah.
Thing is, how much can you do? How much can you flow?
So one of the things that I picked up in Brian Wolf's book, his latest book, The Flip Side of Flipping, is that they use 4 to 5 different avenues constantly.
Yeah.
So
That
it's
makes
like-
so much
so
sense.
have 4 or 5 campaigns running, which I always just ran a yellow letter campaign, and then I would put out signs. I never realized when I did them together simultaneously, consistently, how you just all of a sudden get a flood of leads.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're doing texting.
Yep.
That's phenomenal. Texting for
Yeah.
dollars.
50% easy response rate
Yeah.
on the texts every day.
And about 25% we get on the phone with,
Yep.
and we make appointments.
Yeah, they're not all positive responses, but people respond.
No, you go from responses, then you wheedle that down, then you get down to the
Yeah, it's a funnel. Yeah.
So you know,
Funnel.
having 4 or 5 devices. So we're texting, funnel. We're texting. We have signs. We have yellow letters. We have Craigslist ads,
business cards.
business cards that we're putting them on cars, in the door handles of cars. So I mean, just that outflow is massive enough that all of a sudden, like Dave said, in a week's time, he even said it this past week. It's like I see it starting to work. It didn't take that long. It took us 3 or 4 weeks to kind of get all our shit together and what we're going to do, or me to get my shit together, I should say. And then now it's just a matter of just pushing it out every week.
Yeah. And I'm not sure it's natural at all for people to do this. I personally like it.
Yeah.
I feel much more comfortable having, well, what would you rather have, one source of income or 3 or 4 streams of income? So wouldn't you have 3 or 4 streams of outflow?
Right.
That
Well,
makes sense.
the interesting thing is when you're depressed or you're down, you don't want to reach. You don't want to reach. You just want to curl up, like you said. You want to curl up in a ball, like in a fetal position, and just say, "Leave me alone."
All right.
And that's the part you got to get through.
I have some advice for that one.
Yeah.
You can get a thought in your head like, yeah, I should do some outflowing, but the emotion says no.
Right.
Well, your emotional response to things has nothing to do with what just happened. It has to do with you and your own response to it. I'm getting deep here, folks. Hang on. Somebody can come up and say something to you. One guy cries, one guy gets apathetic, one guy gets mad, one guy doesn't care. It's all you. So go ahead, be apathetic for a few minutes, then get pissed.
Yeah.
Get pissed. God, and you get up off your butt and run at it. and get moving. A friend of mine said, you know what? You want to feel better? Move.
Yeah.
Get moving. Just get moving.
Get in motion.
Get in motion. Go do something. You feel better. So I always did that with my other businesses.
So I have a weird piece of advice. When you get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
When you get down and you're not feeling good about yourself, go clean your office or clean your house or cut the grass. Go do something like physical, like rake the leaves, wash the windows.
Something that drives an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your hair cut.
Yeah.
You know, go buy a new
But
shirt.
watch out what barber you pick.
Oh boy, here we go with the barber jokes. All right, so let's keep moving. All right. So does that make sense? Outflow,
absolutely,
that gets
absolutely.
inflow.
Yep.
Okay.
And 3 or 4 different
At least 3 or 4
types.
different avenues. I mean, Dan Kennedy says message, market, media. So what we're doing right now is we have the message, we know the market, we're just changing the media by doing things like texting, right, and using different electronic devices like Google Voice and stuff like that, right? So to hear all this stuff, honestly, if you want to know what we're doing, the best thing in the world to do is either go to flippinghousesforrookies.com. We have everything in one spot. Emma has launched a new website officially last week. There are no other websites. You can't find my stuff anywhere else except flippinghousesforrookies.com. Or go to flippinghousesforrookies.com, Startup Bootcamp, because we have launched the bootcamp, and it's a sequence of what you need to do. And in there, we talk about what to outflow on and where to do it and how to do it, and the message, the media, and the market, just like Dan Kennedy talks about.
Yeah. In sequence. Get
In
that
sequence,
full.
yep.
Yeah, it's not spattered all over the place.
It's actually a checklist where you go down the checklist and do each podcast. They're 30 minutes each, and you go through. And then we have a Facebook group to help us with all that stuff.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing, make offers. Make offers. I have preached this for I don't know how long, but I'm going to tell you right now, as cleanly, as bluntly, as arrogantly, and as rudely as I can right now. If you're not making offers, it's mental masturbation. You are not in the real estate business. You are not. I don't know what you're doing, but you are not doing real estate. If you haven't making an offer this week and you spend 20 hours doing real estate, you're playing with yourself. Point blank. How's that for blunt and rude and all the other things?
I had my fingers in my ears.
Am I wrong?
No,
You're right.
of course not.
Dave,
You're
when
right.
did it start changing for you? When you started making offers?
Yeah. I did the 20, 30 hours when I was working, bless you, full time. Did 20, 30 hours on top of that, skimming through the MLS and looking on Zillow, et cetera, not finding anything. And then started doing the letters, started doing some of the other things that you talk about and actually making offers. And, I flipped a couple of houses. I've got another one under contract and, just got a condo. So there's a few things going.
Doing a subject to deal?
Yep, the subject to deal. And the only way you can do that is to make offers.
Yep.
Well, it's like the outflow gets the inflow. Well, you're outflowing offers. You want somebody to say yes?
Right.
You have to ask.
Absolutely.
I
How are you gonna say yes?
almost called today's podcast "Fake Investors." That was almost going to be my title today. That would have been a little bit less never mind.
I don't know either.
Explanatory.
Explanatory.
Thank you. Wow, that was good, Dave.
Explanationary.
Yeah. So if you're not making offers, you're a fake investor. My saying is, an offer a day keeps the dead away. Now, how do you make an offer a day? A shit ton of outflow.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta keep pushing out. And my entire philosophy, my entire system, my entire beingness is all about people asking me to make an offer on their house. I'm not talking about calling up the realtor and saying, I want to make an offer on, a house on Main Street. Let me go compete with every other buddy, right? I'm talking about sending a letter, somebody's seen a sign, and they call me and say, hey, can I get an offer? Because the first thing that any seller wants is an offer.
Mm-hmm. How much?
How much?
Mm-hmm.
They want to see if your reality matches their reality. And I'm not talking about, somebody with a $200,000 house making an offer of $100,000,
Mm-hmm.
right? So our latest line that's on that Dave and I have been working on, The latest line is that, if I look at your house and I like it and I pay you top dollar, would you be interested in a terms purchase? And that wakes people up because that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's technically what we do.
They're looking for and afraid of that fire sale offer.
Right.
That exact term, fire sale, comes up a lot.
Or
in calls.
distressed. I'm not a distressed seller.
Yep.
And I don't want a fire sale. Those two things come up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave would know. Dave's on the phones all day.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
And on making offers, the nice thing about the system that we use, we can make multiple offers.
Yes.
And that's extremely powerful when you come in with one thought process, and then as you've told me this many times, you build the deal as you go.
Right.
And you can change your mind, change your thought process on how you make that offer based on the information that you get. So being able to make multiple offers is a very powerful position to be in.
Well, it gives you something to say no matter what response they
Yes.
give you. So my house is over leveraged. Oh, here's your offer.
Mm-hmm.
My house is free and clear. Oh, here's your offer.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm not willing to take less than. Okay, here's your offer.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. You can give them a response. Whether they take it or not is another story, but at least here's your offer. Right?
Well, I'd rather have 7 shots at something than 1.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So the other thing that this does is by making an offer a day is it keeps your morale up. And production keeps morale up. There's just no way around it. Production keeps your morale up. So what production could you be doing that is any better? I can't think of any. Other than closing on houses, but if you're not making offers, you're not going to close on houses.
No, every step you get towards it, you're going to feel happy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works. You get one step done towards the overall goal, you'll feel happy. If you're not getting any steps done, that's why you crawl up in a ball.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you push, drive, and untangle making offers, push, drive, and untangle. Like if you're not making offers, you figure out why and then fix it. If you do that, then that means the marketing's working, and that means the closings are happening because offers are right smack in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sure that it pulls the leads and it pushes the closings. It's like the fulcrum. It's like right in the middle, right? And then the other thing is that making offers completely blows away any scarcity mentality because you have a pipeline, and when someone says no, you're like, oh, okay, no problem. I've got like Dave right now. Dave's like, he gets a little cocky, rightfully so, because I do, and so do you. It's not Dave; it's just the position you're in. It's like, okay, so you don't want me to buy your house on terms purchase? Okay, no problem. I really have to go work on these 2 other deals. I mean, like this week, I know I've got 3 or 4 deals that I'm going to close on this week, right? Either buying or selling or doing some paperwork. Now it's taken some weeks to get that. It doesn't happen every week, but just like what Dave said, I've cranked up the outflow, so it just starts happening. And we start making offers. And it's not like we're making a shit ton of offers. We're just making offers with the right people, right? Mm-hmm. So the point is that when you fill the pipeline, you don't have that scarcity mentality. Really, all scarcity is just not looking past your own boundaries. Like you said, you're inside your own head, and you're not really looking at how can I get that. So the best way to beat scarcity is just outflow. Mm-hmm. Get out there, pass out business cards. I mean, Dave went the other day to Home Depot and started leaving cards in Home Depot, just leaving them on the shelves.
No, I'm going to get in trouble for that. No.
I didn't tell him which Home Depot. Right? So it just gets you out there. When you reach past your own subjective reality and you actually get out there objectively and people know that you buy houses, something will happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Hey, want to hear something stupid I did? Since we're doing like stupid stuff, I go to my music store to buy some books, and I know the guy at the counter, and I know he's been looking for houses. The funny part is he saw this Victorian house. Pete, it's in West Hartford. It's $100,000. I got to see what's wrong. Yeah, it was a disaster. There's trees all over in the front like this. Yeah. And the guy goes, look, there's no view of the street. It's blocked. He goes, it's freaking fallen tree. Anyways, so I show him the picture of our recent renovation. He goes, oh, that's nice. That's mine. Where is it? Millington. He goes, price range? That's my price range. Says, I got a buyer, but if it doesn't, I'll let you know. And I didn't give him my card.
Yeah.
A brand new card. That like, I got to give these some important people. And I'm so used to not using cards. My other business, cards don't do me any good. People just call me and I book. But I'm not used to that. So I have to go back and buy another book. Oh, that's funny, though. If she's right in front of me, I don't hand her my card. Mm-hmm. So keep your card in your pocket and keep handing them out.
Exactly. All right. So the next thing is, so we good so far? I mean, we're not
Absolutely.
far off. These are just basic laws. But if you're going to put your attention on anything, these are the fundamentals. So when I'm talking about it's not magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequences of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. That's what these are. These are the natural consequences that you should take every day that will consistently apply the basic fundamentals. Right?
Bill, I just realized something. Dave, tell me if I'm right. Most people trying to do this focus on, I got to buy a house.
No. Focus on, I got to make an offer.
Yeah.
The houses will come.
That's my point. They're thinking,
Right.
I got to buy a house, I got to buy a house, I got to buy a house.
Guilty.
Well, yeah. So what if you just focused on all the steps that got you there?
Right.
It doesn't happen like magic. You want to build a house, you don't, I got to build a house, I got to buy some bricks. I got to get some cement. Just buy the bricks, buy the cement.
Put a brick up, put another brick up. That's
Just
what we
do
talk
this-
about,
do the
building
steps.
offers. That's
Right.
exactly what we talk about. You get some data, it's another brick in the wall. Right?
But people do the wrong steps. Sit there, stare at the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing the show, because
Yeah.
I've fallen into that same trap. And then Dave came along, and I feel like Dave's a high power guy. He's not he's not a $50,000 a year guy. Okay, I hope you don't get, but he's not. He's a
He's
producer.
more?
Mm-hmm.
More?
Yeah.
51.
Wow. I'm shooting
So he
for
wants to
52.
make money. So I feel responsible. Now he's come along just by virtue of being here and has raised my necessity level, because it's like I don't want him to lose him.
Mm.
And it's not like some propitiation or anything like that, but we need to perform.
Yeah.
So my part of performing is, okay, let's get the outflow going.
Mm.
That's been my part. And he'll tell you, I've stepped up to the plate doing that.
Yeah, but you're doing the ones that work.
Right. Right. And now we're working on the offers, and between him and I, because his schedule, my schedule, we would just share who's making the offers.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So the next one. I don't know what's the matter with my throat. We're not going to spend long on this, because the whole other half of the show is going to be the therapy session Bill wants.
We're not even there yet? This isn't it? I'm scared now.
You're going to be impressed, Peter.
Impressed. I'm going to
Yeah.
move the chair another foot or two away.
But before we get to that, step 4 is using scripts.
Hmm?
Using scripts.
Oh, yeah.
So making an offer using scripts. So all I want to talk about with a script is my definition of script. So my definition of a script is a predetermined set of words that help you get an objective you desire before you do it.
Mm-hmm. Planned out nicely. It's been tested. It works. We're not winging it. Not just off the top of your tongue, top of your head. Okay.
So I'm going to just take a minute for Dave, because I know that that's one of the things that you and I have been working on consciously or subconsciously, because what happens is when you outflow and you start making offers, it's like a point in the evolution of an investor.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the point where, like, I've been talking to people for a week and nothing's happened. So what am I saying wrong? It becomes a natural barrier that you don't know is there when you first started, and you don't realize how important it is when you first start. And then when you start outflowing, which we force you to do or show you to do or accidentally get you to do it, and then the leads start coming in, and that's exactly what my coaching call is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The coaching, that my advanced coaching, a lot of it has to do with what do you say. So I know you're kind of like in the middle of that, coming through the other side of that. I mean, just scripts, right?
Yeah. So the scripts that we've been using, how many times? 2 or 3 times in the last month and a half or so, we've retooled the script that we use, and it's just little tweaks, little pieces. But when you make the change, it's amazing the response that you get.
Right.
Positive. Yes, the positive response. So you mentioned the tweak that we made around top dollar change. Because we were asking for terms, but we weren't giving them the positive
benefits.
piece. The negative piece is the terms. The positive piece is the top dollar.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one that I don't know if you want me to say or not, talking about the duration.
Yeah.
So we started talking about how people ask the question, how long are the terms? How long do they go on? And we started with 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, all these different numbers.
Started on the low side.
Yeah, and people would push us down from that.
to the 2 years.
Yes. And then we came back and said, you know what? We're making you the bank. So we like to try to go for 30 years, but the least we can do is 5. People see that 30 years and then they look at the 5 and they say, oh, the 5's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
It takes away the 2-year deals.
it does. And it takes away a lot of the pushback because you're setting the expectations and giving people the idea that, hey, we are treating you like the bank. You don't have to worry about the property anymore. You just collect your money.
Right.
And people can grasp on that. They can get into that.
And the reason why they would be willing to do a terms purchase is because we're paying them top dollar, because that's exactly what we do.
Exactly.
So that's where the sentence comes. If I look at the house and I like it and we pay top dollar, will you do a terms purchase? So it's like, oh, there's a sequence here. This is not a scam. It justifies why someone would pay terms, or why someone would pay top dollar.
I like the way you phrased it.
Yeah.
If I come out and see the house and I like it and I give you top price, it's actually the sequence.
Right.
Because they'll say, well, don't you want to see the house?
Right.
You're on the phone saying, oh, you would terms purchase. You haven't even seen the house.
Right.
Yep.
How can you be offering me anything? I don't believe you now.
Right.
So that is just so perfect.
Yep. So scripts are important. Having pre-tested, predetermined words, like you say, when they say to you how much term, you have something that works a majority of the time.
Yeah.
That changes your success rate tremendously.
And follow the scripts. So someone in the room may be guilty of not doing so.
Dave's got his hand up.
Not going to mention any names, businesses, or Dave Bullock.
If you don't see the video, he did raise it. Yes.
Yes. But follow the script, because it brings you through the process.
Yeah.
And and the answers are there. You might have to jump around a little bit, so get familiar with the script, but just follow it.
Yeah, that was something that was really helpful. Sometimes a person will move to part of the script. It's okay to try to answer that question, right? But then you go back to where you left off.
That's right. Yeah, you got to go where the customer's at. Like we said, get in the conversation in their head. So if they're talking about getting a cash price, then give them the cash price. It's going to be low, and they're going to be like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, then let's talk about terms. Now they're ready. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes. But the script works good.
Yeah.
The script is important. Right? All right, good. You ready? Here we go. Here we go, Peter.
Second half of the
Here
show. We don't get intermission or anything, like a break.
This is the reality part of the show. This is going to be like reality TV, Peter. Have you watched any recently? Have you watched The Bachelor or Dancing with the Stars or any of those? Huh?
No.
No? Okay, good. Neither have I.
The Voice.
The Voice. My wife gets me to watch them. When I come home around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I come in and I kind of collapse, it's mostly because I'm tired and I just want to sit down for a couple minutes, and I don't even want to argue with, can you change the channel, please?
At least
I don't watch those.
At least they're singing.
Yeah. Oh, God. Have you seen some of those guys dance?
Oh, no, it's the singing part, not the dancing part.
Oh,
No.
Some of those guys, they're football players. Oh, my God. Anyways, here we go. You ready?
No.
Then I won't do it. We'll end the show. It's 30 minutes. We can end if you want.
It's not for me. This is for you. I'm not ready, but you are. Go ahead.
Execute your inner nice guy.
Wait a minute. Execute means implement.
I have just went across the threshold of
Could
Ben
mean a couple
Seidel.
different things.
I'm afraid.
I went across the threshold of Ben Seidel. If you want to, I got to give him credit. I got to give the man credit where the credit is due. He wrote a book called Persuasion Secrets of the World's Most Charismatic and Influential Villains. Sounds kind of bizarre. That's Ben. He's kind of out there sometimes, but he's very pragmatic. And this helped me a lot. So this is what I got from it, okay? Ready?
Go ahead.
So if you expect the world to be fair with you, so if you expect the world to be fair with you because you're fair with it, you're only fooling yourself. That's like expecting a lion not to eat you because you didn't eat him.
I actually completely agree.
And I'm having trouble with this. I'm having a lot of trouble with this. And as we go through this, I got notes here. You're going to see where I am at. This is like, I'm going to put my heart into my sleeve because this is sincere. This is no bullshit. And if somebody doesn't like this podcast, we'll just take it down because I'm okay with that because this is where I am right now in life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I found giving things away, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like my knowledge and my experience actually not only hurts me, but I'm finding it hurts the people I do it with. It's not helping them. And I've known this. I've been mentored not to do this. Free service, free fall, right? I've been mentored not to do this, but I've been doing it for God knows what reason. Well, I do know what reason now, and we're going to talk about that too. But giving away free stuff, my knowledge and my experience has been detrimental to my own morale. And I'm starting to notice that people in my coaching group a majority of them are doing very well. As soon as they buy 2 or 3 houses and make some money, they go off thinking that they got it figured out. I've got one coaching client right now that's done spectacular, made tons of money, and is giving me that kind of talk now. Little do they know, they might go off and they might leave my group, which is totally fine, considered very successful. But if the market does what I think the market's going to do, they're going to get hurt hard and don't even know it. And how do I know that? Because I went through the 2008-2009 crash. And it's happening right now. Mm-hmm. It's happening as we speak. Right? Dave and I talk about this often. Not that we're like, dwelling on bad. Just we're preparing. Because the market is changing. Since July of 2018 in Connecticut, for sure, the market is changing. And then the recent elections, especially in Connecticut, was not favorable. I mean, we have some real trouble coming our way with tax laws and, things that they're proposing to do is not going to be easy. And that's going to thwart real estate in this state. So if any of you have read half the books that I've read, you'll realize that the most amount of money is made in chaos. We'll strap in because some chaos is coming our way. Mm-hmm. And we are internally preparing for that. But it's not easy mentally because you're going against the wave and you start this is me. I start doubting myself and thinking, should I really be doing this? Why is money so hard right now? Why is it that my checkbook keeps emptying out? And what am I doing wrong? Because one thing that I do know, Peter, and you know this because we've talked about this a lot, the only way to have money is to have a valuable final product.
Right. So
the final product means it's completed and it's actually valuable to somebody else. So if I don't have money right now, I'm thinking to myself, is my products not complete? Have I got some problem with my products, like they're not usable,
not valuable?
And then the next thing is are they not usable, or are they not getting results? And then the next thing is are they not valuable? For some reason, I don't know what happened. Probably the same thing in July. The whole how to buy real estate just went. I mean, our meetups, my email traffic, the downloads on the podcast, the listenership on Facebook. It's a severe drop off. It's just something that I've noticed. I don't know why.
Yeah, you've been saying that. You've been wondering, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Well,
I start looking around. It's not just me.
Yeah, in that case, you have a situation around you that you don't introvert like what's going on with me. Right. You look at what's going on in the scene, in the environment, so that you can do what's needed,
right?
Adjust or come up with an answer.
Right. So helping people and not getting some exchange about it is not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what happens is here it is in a nutshell. Okay, here's what I spotted about me that is completely personal, and I'm bringing it out on this podcast because I'm begging for help. And I don't know that I can get it in the normal places that I get help. I have mentors, I have people that help me, and I don't know that I could actually get that. So that's why I'm asking for it here. This is pretty bizarre, okay? But this is it. I find myself spending a lot of time taking care of everyone else's problems. I run errands. I have requests that I do that I shouldn't be doing. And I do it all before my own. I'm just too nice of a guy.
Is that why we're going fishing and for steak dinner?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Because I find if you look at my schedule, I'm helping coaching clients. I'm helping my daughter. I mean, no disrespect to my daughter, but I mean, Emma's sitting here. We're doing a closing right now. If she doesn't call me 10 times a day, she doesn't call me once. And I'm like in the middle of doing stuff, and I pick the phone up, and she completely disrupts what I'm doing. And she's my kid, and I'm not complaining. I'm not even telling her to stop doing it.
Mm.
But it made me realize it happens with my coaching clients. It happens with the church. It happens with my friends. Because I don't have a 9-to-5 job where I got to go sit behind a boss's whip and ball and chain, right? So then to drag you into this, David,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed it with me, and then I start hearing you say, we talked the other day, and I started hearing you say the same things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I hear Dave has Monday off.
No, he doesn't have Monday off. He does other things on Mondays. It's a schedule thing. But the point is and I don't, if you don't want to get dragged into this, that's fine.
It's fine.
But we were talking the other day, like you're running around, you're doing this and you're doing that, and I started asking you what are you getting paid for? And I was asking you not to question you, but I'm thinking, is he doing the same thing I'm doing?
I am. I know I am.
Right?
This is something that I struggle with constantly. Is what are the activities that I'm doing that are value added? And value added doesn't necessarily mean make money, but value add for some reason. So if I'm taking care of, if I'm going to football with my son, that's super value add.
Right.
But I'm not making money there.
Right.
If I'm running around doing showings, am I making money? Am I not making money? If my marketing, whether it's working with you. For Homes or Us, or whether it's doing something for myself, am I bringing value to the table? I challenge myself on that all the time,
right?
And it's definitely a struggle because it's not what I'm used to. I'm used to the 9-to-5, and I knew exactly what I needed to do because someone else laid out this is what the plan is,
right?
So I would execute against that plan. Now I'm kind of creating the plan myself as I go, and it's a struggle,
right? And I find that the hardest thing for me. And I believe with you too, and I believe with Peter, is that you have the ability at 10 o'clock to go meet somebody because you make your own schedule. So you kind of, at least I do, I feel sorry for someone. Like today, I got to be at 3 o'clock, I got to be in North Haven to go meet a guy about renting a hall for a New Year's Eve party. I got a shit ton of things to do today. That is not making me money. That is, we've got at least 3. I know I've got 2 closings tomorrow with subject to deals. One's a slot deal, and the other one is a deal we're buying.
Mm-hmm.
One we're selling, one we're buying, and I got to draft up all the paperwork. Right, so I got to do that today. I have like maybe an hour to do 3 hours worth of paperwork. Right, plus I still need to make sure my outflow's going. It's like this is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Being a nice guy is a problem, right? So, how am I doing so far?
I'm just waiting for the end.
You're waiting for the end?
Yeah, like the silver lining.
So you're telling me I would give the problem without a solution?
No, that's why I'm waiting for the end.
You want to hear the solution?
No, I'm just waiting.
Okay.
No, you have to get through all this. I'm just letting you go. Just go. Hey, I completely understand a lot of this.
Right. So I found that being a nice guy could be foolish and destructive. Not only just for me, but for my clients. Now let's just completely put this in like a very narrow perspective. If you're being a nice guy when you're making an offer, what happens?
When making an offer?
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
We're going through that right now with the house in Bristol. You and I have had that conversation. Like, where are we making money? The mortgage is $1,700 and change a month, and the guy's asking $220 for a $240 or $250 house. Where are we making money? Where's the money now? Money monthly, money later.
Well, that's it. I mean, your systems and all the math and the numbers and percentages prevent you from being too nice if you follow it.
Right.
I screwed up on being too nice to me.
Right.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's why you're going to be in court on Thursday.
Yeah.
because you have a tenant that wasn't paying, and and you were too nice, and here you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And actually, it hit me really big yesterday. Like, oh, and this happened because I was nice to the guy. Ugh.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, nice is one thing. Business is another thing. It's not that you have to be a jerk in business, but it's two different things.
So let's clarify that, Peter,
It's two
because that's
different
where I
things.
want to go. Let's clarify that. I don't mean to mistreat anyone. You shouldn't mistreat anyone. And I don't mean that this doesn't mean that you have an open deck of cards to be mean.
Or
Right?
trick people or be deceitful or anything or fool people or anything. No.
Or be abusive. Or be like you said, trickery, like lying and doing things like that.
Well, there's two ends of the spectrum. Too nice is that way. Too mean is that way.
Right.
Is there a middle?
Yes. So here's what I mean. So I'm talking about this is the code that I'm talking about, right? And a lot of this came from Ben Siegel's book, so I'm not taking it's just perfect words for what I want to say or how I feel. Okay. So laying down boundaries for what is or is not acceptable to you. So having some boundaries of what you're willing to do or not willing to do, and then communicate about them, especially in a deal structure. What are you willing to do and not willing to do? One of the things that it's taken me a long time to communicate about, and this does it perfectly, is at the end of the day, you always know what you're willing to do and not willing to do. So once you figure out what the client, the seller, is willing to do and not willing to do, you then need to do the final piece, which is match up against your plan. Am I willing to pay $1,700 a month and only make $100 or $200 positive cash flow on that rental property and go through, or on that lease option and go through all the aggravation and wait for a $20,000 payday at the end? Am I willing to do that?
I saw that in the house we were sitting in. I forget where it was. Somewhere near Middletown.
Yep.
Madison? No.
It was Middletown.
Middletown. And, I was hoping we could figure a way to do it. And the guy's talking what he wanted. And it dawned on me, well, that's nice, but there's like what we need. If it doesn't fit what we're doing, can't do it.
So we were giving him pretty house offers, but the house needed a bathroom renovation and needed a couple things, and we were struggling with how do we do it? Because he was demanding pretty house numbers. And we ended up making him an offer, but we didn't buy it because of that reason.
Yeah, because you have to be. Your numbers are right. The formulas are correct. You just have to stick to them.
Right. Good. So here we go. Here's another one. Eject low-class jackass people out of your life and immediately, and just eject them immediately. This is why I like Ben. He's got some great words.
Oh, this is his line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eject low-class jackass people out of your life immediately, and get rid of those toxic relationships. And they might be your family, they might be friends, they might be business partners. What does toxic mean?
Well, you feel poisoned. They just.
What do you think?
Negative, something, anti whatever.
Right. It's against you.
Yeah.
That's toxic. So if I say, Peter, let's go have steak for lunch, and you come up with excuses, and you're constantly coming up with excuses on why we shouldn't eat steak, does it mean you're a bad guy? Not necessarily. Just means that you may not like steak. So I'm not going to call you up and say, let's have steak. Maybe I say, Dave, let's have steak. Oh, man, I can't wait to have a piece of steak. Oh, my God. There's a difference.
Yeah, but that's not even toxic to me. The toxic guy is that no matter what you say, it's no.
Right.
Right? Look, how about pizza? No, I don't feel like pizza.
Right.
Well, I don't want to go out Friday night. Shut
so
up.
To my point, it's extreme.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
it's
it is. That's what toxic is.
it's not, to me, it's not opposition on the topic. It's just opposition.
Right.
No matter the topic.
Right.
Yeah, I have an example of that in my life. There's a person who, no matter what I say, there's 3 reasons why it won't work, and that's not everything, and avoid that, and this is not a good idea, and so I just shut down that part of that relationship.
This is an amazing thing you're saying right now, Dave, because I didn't say disconnect from these people. What I'm saying is choose what to and what not to talk to them about.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's very easy to talk good weather, good roads type stuff, like whatever, it's like raining today. Yeah, oh my God, winter's coming, blah, blah, blah. And have a conversation about that. But you're not going to bring up your deep-seated beliefs and thoughts, or even tell them what you're doing so that they can go to work destroying that thing.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually had relationships where I put up decoys of things that I say I'm doing, that I'm really doing, but they're not that important to me, so that person, because I know they're going to seriously destroy that thing. Mm-hmm. They're going to attack it because that's who they are. So I put up a decoy. I let them attack it. Well, you know what? Sorry for being political, but I think that's Mr. Donald Trump, the president of the United States right now. That's his entire life. He puts these decoys up and lets these people that don't like him go attack them while he's actually doing his agenda without anybody knowing it. Mm-hmm. I mean, the people that need to know what he's doing is he's putting the people around him that agree they can help him and want to do it. He's putting those people around him to get it done. Mm-hmm. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not even going political here. Like, I'm not even saying he's right, but that's how he does it. Why do you think he sends out these tweets?
Yep.
It's decoys.
If you read his book, all right, The Art of the Deal,
yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Yep. Interesting. I've never read that book. I should read that.
It's a quick book. It's a quick read. It's a good book.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are funny. I said, like, you don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Never mind.
All right, so let's move on. So another one. Have standards with who you will give your time, attention, love, help, and resources to. Have standards. So, like, that's where we were talking about a few minutes ago. I use exchange. Now, I happen to know, I don't know if you want to do this or not, Peter. I don't know if we have enough time because we're running out of time, but there's 4 rates of exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do them quickly?
I think so. Well, one is, start at the bottom, criminal exchange. Right? Criminal, where you offer something really bad to the person, and you're getting something he's getting really bad.
Yeah, so if I give you $10 for a pen,
mm-hmm.
you might give me a pencil.
Or a pen,
that doesn't work.
Yeah, a pen that doesn't
it's
work.
It's like criminal exchange.
Yeah.
So in other words, the exchange happened. It's just your delivery was
mm-hmm.
either null or
mm-hmm.
very, very poor.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2.
I forget. Well, I know there's one here. Is that just fair?
So it's partial exchange.
Partial, yeah. So it's partial.
So it's like you would have. I give you $10 and you give me a pen and it only works for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's got invisible
$5
ink.
Worth of pen, maybe.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like it doesn't satisfy what you needed.
It's not completely negative, but it's not so high.
And then there's fair exchange. I give you the pen. I mean, I give you the $10. You give me a pen that works, and it's just like, That's where businesses fail right there.
They're trying to keep it even, Steven.
They fail because what happens is if you give fair exchange, you're not remembered.
Yeah, it's nothing to like. Why go back?
Right.
For even. You want to go back for something extra. You want to hear 2 good extras?
You're like a commodity. Hang on a second.
Oh,
we haven't gotten
ahead.
So you're like a commodity,
mm-hmm.
right? You're like, oh, well, I can get milk like at the convenience store. So what? It's an extra 60 cents. But I don't have to drive to the grocery store or Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's exchange and abundance, which is where what I try to do on
mm-hmm.
every transaction I do, every conversation I try to have exchange and abundance. So you had an example?
Well, my dad used to try to teach me that, and I don't know if I listened or not listened, but he would, he's a barber, he would go to his customers when they're in the hospital. And first thing in the morning before he got to work, 6, 7 in the morning, give him a haircut and a shave, and they try to hand him $20. He says, no. This is just for you. I'm talking CEOs, generals. You go to like the hospital stores, Yukon, and you see the big picture of Governor Dempsey from years ago. Mm. That's my dad's haircut.
Right.
And he would do that. And then you see pictures later. He's in Florida, and the general or the CEO, like Harry Gray or Jengris, they're driving around the private golf course on the cart. They're driving him around. Yep. The little 5th grade graduate from the old country with bad English. Right. But the man knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. So let's put this in perspective. That's a great story. But let's talk about real estate.
Yeah, flip it there.
So
this applies every part of your life.
It applies everywhere.
When I get dinner, I want dessert.
So good old Peter. So here's the thing. there are aberrations in the realtor system and the way we buy and sell real estate right now. One of the most prominent ones is that when you list your property, nobody talks about the cost to sell. So the exchange in abundance that you should make is when you're making an appointment, you can tell somebody there's 3 things that we're going to talk about when I get there. 1, we're going to talk about anything you don't understand about the process, because you've probably only sold 1 or 2 houses in your life and you may not understand the sequence. So I want to talk about what's going to happen, when, where, and how. 2, I want to talk about a plan. Like, what are you going to do? Whether it's me buying your house or somebody else, I'd like to leave your house and you have a plan because now you know the sequence. And 3, I want to talk about the money. Like, how much money are you going to get? And it's not just like, oh, I want to get $200,000. Here's your comps for $200,000. Once you get the offer for $200,000, how much are you taking away at the closing? Because it doesn't get explained to you until about 3 days before the sale. So that, to me, is exchange in abundance. You going out and taking an hour of somebody's time and looking at their house, or 90 minutes looking at their house and making an offer, you're giving them back exchange in abundance, to me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because nobody tells them that.
That's what I think. Okay.
Well, I've seen the look on people's faces when you finish. When you finish a presentation, they look, first they're pissed off, not at us,
Right.
that no one ever told them. And then they're grateful that we at least let the cat out of the bag.
Right.
And then they calm down a little bit.
So to reiterate, have standards with whom you give your time, attention, love, help, and resources to. Right. So, like, think about the 4 rates of exchange. Which one is it? Is it when if I go have lunch with you, what am I getting back? What's in it for me? And I don't mean what's in it for me. I mean what's in it for us.
Mm-hmm.
What's in it for you? What's in it for me? I mean, if Dave and I decide we're going to go have steak for lunch and he loves to have steak and you don't, then I'd rather go with him because we're going to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're going to joke and have a good time. I go with you, and it's like the whole time you're with me, you're going to be like, I don't want to be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I could be doing something else with my time.
That's right.
Right? So have standards. All right? If you're good at something, this is another one. If you're good at something, don't give it away for free. And I've been doing this for some time now. And not that I need to have everything, get paid for everything I do, but there's certain things that I'm just not going to give away for free. Right? And I've been giving it away for free. Like what we just talked about. It's cost us a ton of energy and time and money to figure out these little sentences. People, when we talk about them on this podcast for free, don't even listen. Like the listenership, since we started talking about the first half of the show, we had a bunch of listeners. As soon as I started talking about what I want to talk about, they dropped off. The listenership dropped in half, probably 3/4.
Wow.
And this is the part of the show they should be listening to. But because it's free, they have something else to do. They'd rather go off and do whatever. They got to go watch Oprah.
Go sort through Zillow to try to find that foreclosure and buy it.
So it's like I'm going to start being cautious of what I talk about for free. Because if you don't charge for it, there's no value to it, and they don't take it serious.
Well, people don't think it's worth anything. Right. It must not be. It must not be that good. He wouldn't give it away. If it's good, he would be charging a lot. I mean, we've been to the other guys. We've been to seminars, and it's a lot of money.
Right.
A lot.
And why are we here? Because it doesn't. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You got to get the right answers, spend enough, and then go buy a house.
Me sitting in front of somebody making an offer, completely being arrogant, and I don't care because it's true. I've given thousands of offers. I don't think of anyone in Connecticut that they should listen to as much as they should listen to me. Now, I'm not saying that I'm like better than everybody else, but I am saying I have a lot of experience. And finding me to make an offer on their house is a rare find because there's not a bunch of me just running around. Mm-hmm. There are people like me running around, but they're not as plentiful as the other kind.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to sit in your house and actually help you go through a consultative type of a sale is actually a privilege for that client, and they don't know that.
Yep.
So you got to be careful.
Well, the other guys are looking for the fire sale.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but
well,
they
it's
are.
all about money to them.
We were at a house. We were trying to help the guy. As soon as we left, I saw a couple of guys in a big fancy car.
Yep.
And they looked like whatever. and they had a clipboard, and they're like, how much? You could just tell where that was going. How much? Hey, okay, next, how much?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not help.
So this one you're going to believe, but you're not going to believe I'm going to say this one, Peter. And we're almost done. We're almost out of time. Well, we're out of time. So we got 3 or 4 more to do.
Okay.
Okay? Be selfish. Be somewhat selfish. And is that me?
No, how
That's
can you even say those words? It's so not you. And I tell people, we think Bill's this big, kind of gruff guy sometimes, but talk about Teddy Bear. He's helped so many people. He's helped me and just walked away. Like, you need anything? No.
Yeah.
Drive to my house, spend an hour before we were doing any of this just to help me with my business and just give me suggestions on my business? Why?
Yeah.
What did Bill want? He wanted to help me. Okay.
Right.
That's you.
So I'm going to give you an example of this, that I really need to work on this. So this is much like, now, I used to fly 40 weeks a year.
Yeah.
And 150,000 miles a year. This is much like being on an airplane and the stewardess saying to you, if we go down and the oxygen mask comes out, put yours on first.
Right.
Why is that?
Well, if it's not obvious that if you don't put yours on, you might pass out, and if you get the one on the other person, they might pass out too if you don't get it there in time.
So 2 things I take out of it. 1, if you don't put oxygen on, you can't help anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to need to help somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
2, which most people probably don't think of, but I do. If you don't put your oxygen mask on and you do pass out, you're now a problem for somebody else.
Yep.
And didn't realize it.
Right. And if it's your child, they don't know how to help you, and they'll scream.
Right. So now
and they'll think
they
killed Daddy, and then they'll feel bad.
So now you've just added, Peter. Now you've just added to the chaos. You've added to the problem.
He literally just added to the chaos.
Let him finish. Go ahead, Peter.
Well,
Finish.
that's all. I'm just saying I say funny things, but they're absolutely completely true. You have to look at the long range, how things turn out in the end.
Peter.
Yes, Bill.
Thank you for telling us a funny truth.
Yes, they can be funny. Also, you could be just tears.
Done?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You got
We're
2, 3 more. I
busting
gotta.
now.
No, I started.
If you're adding to the chaos, it's not correct.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you got to take care of yourself so you don't add to the chaos.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So when you're doing deals like we're talking about, and when you're structuring deals, what's the sense in getting involved in a deal and then 6 months from now hating every time you got to do something for that deal and it becomes a problem?
Mm-hmm.
You have to take care of you first. You have to make it so every month when something needs to be done with that deal, like the check needs to be received and you need to pay the bills, you're excited about doing it because you're getting something from it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't set a deal up that way, don't do the deal. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Good.
Makes a lot of sense.
This is a Ben Seidel thing. Never give a quarter to anyone trying to harm in any way. Never give a quarter to anyone trying to harm in any way, shape, or form. Why help to make them damage more stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is that where your attention goes, energies flow, results show.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if you put your attention on something, it solidifies it. So if you say, I don't have any money, what am I going to do? You put your attention on it, it solidifies you having no money. It stops you from doing anything else. Instead, you should say, oh, I got a money problem. Okay, well, what can I do about outflow? Where can I outflow? Where can I go find more deals? It's a what's his name? Grant.
Grant Cardone?
Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
It's a saying he has. Where's my money?
Oh, yeah.
Who's got my money? I think it is.
Yeah.
Who's got my money?
Yeah.
When you're doing outflow, that's what you're doing. Like, who's got my money?
Sounds
Who's got
funny,
a-
but it's true.
Who's got a house that I could do a deal and make some money because I need money right now?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? How do I get it?
Yeah.
Right? Good. Last one. Actually, 2 more. Never respect anyone who doesn't respect you back. Now, I'm usually pretty good at that one, but don't respect someone that doesn't respect you back. If they don't have respect for you, like that call you were talking about on the coaching call, that, we had a client that beat up one of my coaching clients because she said they sent him a yellow letter and he didn't put his company name on the yellow letter.
Oh, she was just picking on anything and everything.
She didn't respect him, and he was trying to respect her back.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't need to do that.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to be nice.
Don't have to be mean. You don't have to be, abusive, but he didn't need to respect her. And that was part of the reason why we're doing this podcast this morning, because last night that was on a coaching call, and that's what kind of struck this up in my world, because it's like, why do you have to respect her?
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
There's no reason to treat people like that.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And pretend that you're being helpful.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretend.
So this last one, I actually just got over this. This took me about 6 months to learn this lesson. And it happened to me down at the church. And I just, literally a couple weeks ago, resolved this, and it's amazing the results. Don't put anyone on a pedestal. And I was doing that. There's a couple of people that I respect down there, and I was putting them on a pedestal, and it kind of puts me in like a propitiation type of a thing. Propitiation means giving gifts to be my friend. So it's like if I was in propitiation with Dave, I'd be giving him gifts, like buying him coffee and buying him lunch and doing that. Not that you can't do that, but to keep him engaged in being my friend.
Yeah, the purpose is not good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like propitiating to these couple of people because I had put them on a pedestal because, they're young and they're full of energy and they have a lot of training, and I respected them, and they actually recruited me to be there. And when I stopped doing that and I just started being me, all of a sudden I noticed their respect for me has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't go looking for them anymore. They come looking for me now. Because they respect me now, because I guess the only way to talk about this is pretty girls. I mean, this happens to almost every pretty girl. If a girl is pretty, like a scale of 1 to 10, and she's a 10, it ruins her life. It's actually a horrible thing for a girl. And I know this because I've dated them and I've had them. I mean, my daughters were like that, are like that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, beautiful women attract people that put them on a pedestal. And they just, at any given time, they say, oh, could you go get me a cup of coffee? And they get it. Whatever they can think of, they get it, because men, mostly men, propitiate. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. It's the weirdest thing in the world, because they get put on a pedestal all the time, and it's more injustice to them than it is to the person doing it. Because I have a couple of people like that in my life that are absolute beautiful people, and I watch them get things that they shouldn't get. And they think that it's because they deserve it, and they have no idea that it's the other thing. Really.
That's almost funny.
Yeah, it is funny. But don't put people on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
So how's my list?
You couldn't work with them if you did.
You're not going to have a successful relationship. Let's put it back into real estate. You got $1 million house, and you go in and you talk to the owner. I mean, when you talk to a guy that's got $1 million house, does your demeanor change? Mine does.
Mm-hmm.
You put him on a pedestal because he's got $1 million house. Yeah. It's intimidating. That's right. You put him on a pedestal. So how's that deal going to go?
No, it's not going to go well.
He's not going to respect you. There's a classic example.
Don't be intimidated by it.
Here's another one. I'm on a roll now. Here's another one. Your private lender. You put him on a pedestal. Why? Because he's got money. How's he going to respect you? Not as much as if you call them up and say, here's my terms. You want in or don't you?
Yeah.
I got this deal. I got this really sweet deal. You need to let him know it's a privilege for him to be in your deal.
You're going to make money for him.
Right.
He's not making money for you.
I'm going to do all the work. I just did a closing for one of my private lenders. He made $18,000. You know what he did? He wrote a check. He made $18,000 in 5 minutes. Literally. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Let me not be so mean here. It was about 45 minutes because he had to drive to my attorney's place to actually drop the check off. Which, by the way, he did with his wife after they had lunch because they were up in the neighborhood.
Down to 20 minutes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't put my money guys on a pedestal. It's like, you want into this deal? This is a special deal. It took Dave and I 3 weeks to find this deal. Banging the phones every single day. I spent hundreds of dollars on advertising and marketing to find this person that's willing to do this deal. You want in or don't you? That should be the way. Not put them on a pedestal, not go beg because it's like you waited a year and didn't do enough outflow and do the things we're talking about on this podcast. And it took you a year to find this deal. And then all of a sudden you're going to go to the money guy and say, oh, please give me the money.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So bottom line is you need to destroy your propitiation. We just talked about that, like making friends, paying somebody and being liked. You have to be willing to not be liked. And if you can do that, you'll watch your life you'll just watch your life start to change. It'll turn around.
But then people will like you.
It's exactly what happens.
Because remember in high school when you tried to be cool and didn't work?
Yep.
And then somewhere along the line when you were 45, you realized you weren't trying to be cool anymore and you really were.
Yep.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Pete, that was your inner voice talking.
No, it's very similar. If you try too hard, people won't respect it.
Right.
Because it's not real and it's not honest.
Right.
Yep. Be your true self. Yep. Don't try to put on airs. Yeah.
Amen. All right. So here we go. So much for the 30-minute podcast. We went back to an hour and 10 minutes.
An hour and 10?
Hour and 10 minutes. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Half of them dropped off at halfway through anyway, so...
Just have to release the first half.
I feel better.
We'll keep the last 45 for us.
Yeah, there you go. I feel better.
Good.
So success is defined as doing more right things than wrong. So what are they? I think we covered that. In this podcast, you'll get a list of successful actions you must do in order to change your life so you feel like you're winning and happy with results. Your true greatness lies in the power of your thought. So what should you be thinking? Do these few things taught in this episode? And it's not magical or mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals as if they are daily habits. In real estate investing, it is too easy to get lost in your own ideas, like not making the seller and buyer partners. We didn't even talk about that. And using the bank and realtor as partners instead. And that comes down to the offers.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all that came from. You got to make offers to your sellers and make offers to your buyers. And you're at the end of the day, my new slogan, if you would, which I'm testing, is what do we really do? What do we do? What are we good at?
Terms deals.
Yeah, exactly. So we buy property with, or we buy property with our buyer's money.
Mm.
And then pay all the expenses in between. And that's what we do. So if you go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff, you'll find a bunch of free stuff there.
Now what?
Flippinghousesforrookies.com / nope, that's it. All the free stuff is there. I'm not adding any more. Free stuff. There you go. It's done. Or you can go to flippinghousesforrookies.com / startup bootcamp, and you can listen to our other bootcamp. Our other podcast, which is a boot camp, and it's actually a checklist on how you can get started, regardless if you're new or not. Emma said that it's free training podcast. That's right. Yeah, you don't want to do that. flippinghousesforrookies.com / free training podcast. We're over and out.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.